Howdy everyone, it's me once again, the one and only Killer Dan. And today, as you can see, I'm still continuing my October-a-thon where I talk about horror movies and whatnot. Oh yeah, definitely got plenty of these to do. I'm not sure I'm going to get every single one of these videos done this Halloween, but I'll get as much done as I can when it comes to the Halloween topics, horror movies and whatever. So I'll be talking about another episode where, Lost Cinema, where some films were planned to be made, but weren't for whatever reason. And yeah, again, like I said, my previous video is when it comes to this topic, this is actually more common than you think. This is not a way to discourage anybody. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, complications do happen. This one specifically is going for the Michael Myers Halloween films. Yeah, I'm doing this again, talking about these characters, of course. So yeah, the thing is that for the timing of this video, folks, currently Halloween Kills is the most recent film of this franchise, and it's pretty much a sequel to the one that came out a few years ago, which was just simply titled, Halloween 2018, I guess you can say. It basically ignores all the other films except for the first one and the sequel. But that kind of reminds me of the other movie, Halloween H2O, or Halloween 20 Years Later, which again ignores everything except the first one. And it also reminds me of the fact that there's a Rob Zombie remake, and that was basically a remake of the first movie. So what the actual hell? So yeah, this just leads to some unmade sequel, I should say, which was going to be titled Halloween Returns. Yeah, pretty much. Which, yes, again, is just a straight sequel to the original. Yeah, that's the level of clusterfuck we're dealing with here. It's almost as if all the others never really mattered except the first one. Yeah. Sort of reminds me of the Godzilla films because they pretty much did the same exact thing. The only one that matters is the first one, so let's make director's sequels to it. So, okay. But anyway, moreover, that's the kind of thing I'm talking about here, folks. So, before they got to the one that came out a few years ago, from 2018, so yeah, they were actually do something similar enough. Halloween Returns was, again, yes, like I said, it's only going to pay attention to the first film, and that's it, really. So, pretty much just going to try and bring fresh air to the franchise in some ways. As it takes place some years after his original attack at that place, I guess you can say. So, okay, pretty much the story to give you some idea of what they were trying to do in this one, folks. The idea itself is actually not that bad, really. I've to be honest with you, folks. The idea itself, it seems, actually pretty good. But anyway, the pretty much idea we get to see the crazy murderer, Michael Myers, in this film, in this version of it anyway, we get to see that the killer has been placed in death row due to the heinous crimes he has committed, I guess you can say. So, but yeah, the thing is that okay, you might be thinking he's finished, he's done, he's right at the beginning of the film, you see he's in death row. He's being captured by the cops, the authorities, and whatever. And yeah, the goose is cooked. Kind of a strange way to start things off, you might think, guess you can say. But here's the thing. Of course, he's gonna get away. We all know he's gonna get away. We all know that's gonna eventually happen because that's the thing with these movies. There's always a will for. There's always a will. There's always a way for this character to get away, and that's what ultimately happens in this storyline. Because the thing is that there's some kids, though how old are they? I'm not sure. They could be just about teenagers, young adults, or maybe a bit younger than that. The point being, they're just some kids that basically sneak into the prison. Uh, why? I don't know. I don't know why they would want to do such a thing. But anyway, point being is that they sneak into prison and pretty much to watch the killing. It seems a bit morbid, don't you think? They just want to watch Mike Myers get killed in death row. That seems a bit morbid, if you ask me. But hey, what do I know? However, the thing is that things get rather out of control concerning the fact that they witness his Magamaru's escape. And you think about it from this place, and of course, from this point on, they they have to. I guess they have to somehow stop Magamaru's. I guess, and generally Curtis. I don't know what role she'll play in this. Her character, I mean, what role she'll play in this. I'm pretty sure she may be here and there, but I get the sense that the strong focus of this film is going to be for the kids, I guess you can say, of the film and whatnot. So yeah, this actually could have been a good way. Even though I don't like seeing kids in horror films, I'm going to be honest with you. Even though I've said that quite a few times before, kids in horror films is always a no-no, at least most of the time anyway. And I mean, if they can put it off, I guess it'd be fine. But yeah, of course you can see Michael Myers doing a rampage throughout the neighborhood. You know, the killer's on the loose again, and he must be stopped again because he's doing his killing again, and he's up to no good again. So yeah, there you have it. However, the thing is that what happened here with this company is the very reason as to why the entire project just fell apart. Unfortunately, yes, it has something to do with the rights of the character and whatnot, their likeness and whatever else you can think of course. They basically lost the rights to the character to Halloween, and basically as a result of this, they couldn't do it, I guess you can say. How far into the project did they get into this? Well, by the looks of it, not very much really. There's no really no concept art or anything and whatnot. But I do in some ways wish that this film was actually made. It could have been good if done properly and whatnot. So even though they keep trying to, I guess, make only the first one film matter, I suppose. I guess in some ways they're kind of ashamed what happened afterwards and whatnot. So that's probably could be why. So yeah, unfortunately, I guess you can say this never happened because the one company just showed lost the rights to the Halloween films and whatnot. And but yeah, it's just unfortunate that this couldn't be made, and it could have been good. Keywords, you know, could have been, but still. And even though I do like the first one the best as the best, of course, I still like the original Halloween the best one out of all of them, really, if you're in my honest opinion. But I guess that's not going to stop these individuals trying to come up with their own stories, their own way to bring up different type of scares and whatnot, and you know, trying to just bring fresh blood, so to speak, no pun intended, into the franchise and whatnot. But yeah, it could have worked if done properly. Obviously, it could have worked, but altogether, it just seems like they could have just done something. I mean, it could have been a cash grab, like some of these movies are, I guess. But yeah, this this could have there's not that much material that could have worked with. Really, there's like barely in there. But that doesn't mean you can't add more. Just keeping the same idea as a whole. Because they've done in a good way, this can actually be a good installment of the franchise. Even though it's quite obvious, this was never intended to be in more than one movie, when you think about it. But like a lot of slasher films, of course they're doing a bunch of, you know, sequels over time and whatnot. And there's still a fan base for this, of course. Obviously, there's still a fan base for this kind of a thing. And I guess in some ways I can see why, as to why people still want to see these kinds of movies. And for you know, this could have been a good treat for the fans anyway. And I myself was never the biggest fan of these films, really. Even though I did see all of them, all except the new one. I didn't see the new one. Again, in the currently and the time for the time being, I didn't see the film as of yet. The new one, I mean. And but yeah, point being, I've seen the vast majority of these films. So I would have probably just give it a shot anyway to see if it's any good and whatnot. Even though there has been well less than stellar installments throughout the entire thing. Well, it's bound to happen when we make so many sequels. So yeah. But I mean, they were eventually bound to make more anyway. When you think about it, because I mean, this is a business. Hollywood does like to make a crap ton of sequels and to milk something to death. So that's to be expected. Make a shit ton of sequels because the money's too damn good. So of course that's gonna happen. I mean, like I said, there's a fan base for this kind of a thing, so I guess that's perfectly fine and whatnot. I mean, as long as you come up with a good story, I guess I'm fine with it. And yeah, by all means, go for it. Would they actually pick this one up later on and just tweak it up a little bit? I don't know. Most likely not. I mean, there have been projects that have been saved, even though, despite the fact that they've been cancelled after a while. I mean, that doesn't exactly prevent anybody from picking up again, but the grand most, the grand most, mass majority of the time, the mass majority of when it comes to this kind of a thing, once something is cancelled, it's like a permanent death for the project. I mean, there's a few exceptions to that, of course. But for the most part, folks, if a some project is done for, it's done for. If it's canceled, it's canceled. I mean, of course, this can also apply to comic books, video games, music videos, yes, even theme parks as well. But yeah, like I said, it's a business. You have to keep that. It's first and foremost, it's a business. You just have to keep that in mind. That's all. Things can be rather tricky, of course. So it's not as actually easy as it may seem, like some people made out to be. Getting into the film industry, that alone is a struggle. And once you finally go through all that stress and get a foot through the door, so to speak, it's still not a guaranteed, really, that you get your vision made onto the big screen. I mean, you can, of course, you can. Or at the very least, a version of your vision onto the big screen anyway. But it's possible. But nothing's guaranteed. It can be pretty tricky when you think about it and whatnot. But anyway, yeah, I'm just trying to bring this up since the new Halloween film is out, and yeah, it's a sequel to the other movie that came out not that long ago. So it was because of this, it's because of something like this that led to the new movies that came out. So yeah, it was planned, but it just seems like it never went far into it really when you think about it. So it's rather unfortunate. Of course, it's rather unfortunate, but oh well, what can you do, right? These things happen. Like I said earlier, multiple times before, it's quite common. It's more common than you might believe, really, because it's a tricky business to get into and to have a lasting impression too, and to have a good first impression is hard. I think to have a lasting impression and in the public's eyes can be really tricky too when you think about it. And I know a lot of people would want to argue you have to have a good first impression, which yes, it's true, you do. But you might also want to, think about the fact having a lasting impression. That's another thing that people seem to argue about. Making it different. Don't do the same thing over and over again. Experiment with different type of characters, with different type of storylines. Make sure it's right. A lasting impression can be pretty difficult too. Well, I guess that'll be it for now, folks. See ya.